Hey guys, I'm Marcus, owner and instructor for Positive Driving Tuition, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about me, my company, and what you can expect to see on this channel. So I started as a driving instructor when I was 21, and when I was training, I went through the training on the old style, very much instruction, I say you do, and it just feels very strict, it feels very childish. It's not a style that generally works with young adults and adults learning to drive. So to push it on towards coaching, which is where the industry is heading, was a very interesting move, and it's something I've really worked for, and I try and push a bit further than most people would in terms of bringing in technology in and making a lot of it based on something that you can do for yourselves. And that's the whole point, is with coaching, you come up with the answers. It is about you and your learning experience, and therefore you end up as a driver in your style of driving. And that's a tricky thing to accomplish. So it was about moving out of this archaic industry, and I mean, I've worked for a couple of companies in my time as an instructor, and they all work the same. They're all franchises. You pay your fee, you can use their name, and unfortunately there are people out there that will destroy that name because of it. And companies won't look into it until a complaint is made, which means quality control it doesn't exist, and that is something that I really wanted to push past. Quality control is something I keep myself to a very high standard with. I'm constantly looking for feedback. I want to hear what you guys think, and I want to push to the next level. So that's why I've gone into this idea of ditching the driving school name. It's a very childish thing to think about going back to school. Whereas tuition is very much more coaching based. Again, it comes from you. It's something much more grown up, and it's to help you guys out. So that's why I've moved towards this idea of positive driving tuition as opposed to positive driving school. Yes, it works, but it's not where I wanted it to be. So how do I ensure the quality that I deliver to you guys? Well, recently I've been going into a lot more advanced driving. I've been an advanced rider on the motorbike for a little over a year now, and I'm actually now teaching people to become advanced riders as well. It's a really interesting experience because all of that I learn in those lessons and everything I bring back from this idea of advanced riding and the police style of driving or anything like that, I can bring into our lessons, and it actually pushes us a step further than most learner lessons would take you, and it just puts you in a far better place for the test, and more importantly, for what happens after the test. A lot of people would potentially tell you that you learn to drive after your test. It's completely not true. You learn to drive safely for your test, and that should carry on afterwards. The difficulty is you then need to be able to self-reflect and learn, and self-reflection is one of the biggest points that I try and make for you guys to learn. It is a really important thing to be able to recognise if you've made a mistake, and I do it any time that I feel I could have dealt with a situation better, and you just reflect and you think, okay, well, that didn't work, but this worked, and you bring that in together to make this new way of doing things. So what can you expect from the channel? Well, quite simply, there's going to be a lot of tuition videos, things to try and help cut down on briefing times in lessons, things to try and help you to understand a different view of how to deal with situations on the road. We're also, though, going to be looking at different events, things that I might be going to that people might be interested in. So I'm going to Fully Charged Live in 2020. I've been there the last 2 years. It's been really, really interesting to see electrification of cars, sustainable energy, things like that. So I might even bring some of that into it as well. One thing I'd love to do is I want to go into what's going to happen after the test, how to buy a car, what are the different options, how does insurance work, and just generally those things you need to know for once you have passed your test and that next step forward. Along with anything like I might do dash cam reviews, breakdown of certain dash cam videos, whether that's from in this car or submitted videos, lots of things like that. And then also the things that don't often get covered, the things that take up a little bit of time and it wouldn't be worth doing in a driving lesson. It's just going to cost you a lot of money. So things like what happens when you break down, and so on and so forth. I'd also love to be looking into sort of first car reviews. So when you're looking for a car, when you do pass your test, I want to do a review on several different models. See, are they cost effective? Are they easy to drive? What's the size like? All of these things about what you want from your first car, and please give me the ideas there as well. So, if you like what you heard, you can subscribe up here. If you wanted to see another video, click over here, and hopefully I'll catch you next time.